Good morning, everybody. Listen, I want to stop by and tell you about this movie I saw last night, Gladiator II. Wow. It's everything that it was hyped up to be. This second installment of Gladiator from director Ridley Scott, starring Denzel Washington and other great actors, really gave me some hope about America. To me, it was a parable about how empires crumble. Every 250 years, empires crumble due to corruption. And America is on the brink of its 250th birthday in a year from now. And the things that took place in this movie, Gladiator, resonated with me about what's going on in our country. How oftentimes we can allow corruption to enter into our government to the point where we can't even hear the truth. Two things jumped out in this movie that I want to lift up to you that I thought were very profound. One statement is that politics follow power. And what we need to understand is that sometimes people are so thirsty for power that they will align themselves with people who perceive to have power just so they can have power, even to the fact that they compromise their own values. Politics should not follow power. Power should be shaped by your values and your virtue, not your thirst for power. The second thing that stood out in this movie was the thought that the best revenge is to not become like the original perpetrator of the offense. Wow. So many times when we are wronged or we are oppressed, the tendency is that the oppressed becomes the oppressor. We cannot allow the rage and all of the hurt that happened to us to get in us to the point that we become like the very people who did something to us. The best revenge is not to become like the perpetrator of the original sin. I hope that in seeing this movie that we can somehow rediscover the pursuit of the ideals of democracy that were founded by our founding fathers and not continue down this path toward corruption for our thirst for power and our tendency to colonize other countries and bring them under the guise of democracy when it's really colonialism. I hope that we can rise to our higher selves, that we would do justice, that we would love mercy and walk humbly with our God. I believe that God can save our country from being an empire to taking it back to being the kingdom of God. That God's will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Whatever you do, don't let the original sin get inside of you and become like the perpetrator of the original sin. Whatever you do, don't so thirst for power that you abandon God's values and God's way. Let his kingdom be established on earth as it is in heaven, and let the empire fall.